Hi, welcome to the channel. You're watching this video. That means you are interested in understanding about ONDC and to be more precise about selling on ONDC. In fact, ONDC is a great opportunity to gain additional visibility and attract more sale. But do you know how to start showcasing your products on ONDC? If not, no worries, you have found the right video because in this video, I'm going to help you understand the step-by-step process of enabling ONDC as well as updating products so that you can start showcasing your products on ONDC and start receiving orders from the various buyer applications. So without spending any more of your valuable time, let's begin. Let's get started. Now, before we get into the discussion about understanding the step-by-step process, it is important to understand the most crucial element, and that is an online store. In case you haven't created an online store yet, then I will add a link to a detailed tutorial video in the description of this video so that you can review that video and you can understand the process of creating your digital catalog. And once you have created your digital catalog, you can review this video or you can refer to this video and you can understand the step-by-step process of enabling ONDC and updating the products. And then you can start selling on ONDC. You can start showcasing your products on ONDC. All right. So that is something I thought of sharing for your reference. Now we'll divide this video into two parts. In the first part, we are going to understand about the step-by-step process of enabling ONDC, and in the second part, we'll understand about updating or doing the product update so that the required information or the ONDC mandatory required information, specification, etc., all that is updated so that your products start appearing on ONDC. All right. So two parts we are going to divide this video. Now, before we get on to understanding this step-by-step process of enabling ONDC, it is crucial that you also understand what are the mandatory requirements. For that, you are seeing this presentation. On this presentation, I'll quickly walk you through what are the store level. These are not product level. These are the store level. Your online store level should have these mandatory requirement, or your online store should comply with these mandatory requirement, and then only you'll be able to start selling on ONDC. All right. So what are those? Let's quickly understand. The first one is add the correct address in Google location, which is quite simple. The address that you have added on your online store and the Google location that you have added on your online store, those should be accurate, those should be correct. So that is one. The second is that you should activate at least one integrated logistic on your online store. That's the second requirement. The third one is you should input and verify the GST number. The fourth one is you should provide accurate bank account detail, and this is crucial because if you're not providing accurate bank account detail, in that case, the fund transfer might get impacted. So this is crucial. Then the fifth one is you should enable ONDC. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my screen. I'm going to take you to the seller panel of a demonstration account, and I'll help you understand the step-by-step process of enabling ONDC. All right. So let's switch the screen. So we are on the seller panel of a demonstration account, and now I am going to take you to the store settings section from where we will be doing the enablement. For that, in the left navigation, you'll see there is an option which says store settings. You have to click on that, and then you have to click on store details, which you can see here. So you have to click on store details, which will take you to the store details tab. Now here you'll see address. So this is the first point which I mentioned, or which we saw in the presentation, that the address and the Google location should be updated. For that, we'll click on address, and this is where you can see the address. So in case the address is not updated, you must update the address. And the most crucial point is the Google location. So if the Google location is not updated properly, then your visibility will be impacted on ONDC. So you must update the Google location. Once you have updated the Google location, then just scroll down and click on save, and you are done with this first requirement which is there. Right now, the second requirement, if we quickly go back to the presentation, the second requirement was at least one integrated logistics service should be enabled. What is this? So for that, we'll again go back to the seller panel, and for enabling courier services, you can either click here in the shipping, or on the top you'll see there's an option which says courier. You can click on that as well. And here if you go to courier services, this is where you'll see the various courier services which are pre-integrated onto the platform. Now you must enable at least one of them. So either ShipRocket or Ship, either of them you must enable. Now how to enable them, we have added the detailed tutorial video. So here you can see there is a detailed tutorial video which is embedded. ShipRocket is enabled on this account, so that's why we are not seeing the video, but it will be there on your store. So you can watch the video, you can understand the step-by-step process, and you must enable them. So the important point to remember here is at least one, any one of them should be enabled on your online store. All right, let's move on to the next item. And for that, we have to come here. We have to click on enable ONDC. We are on the same tab. We haven't gone anywhere. So we clicked on store settings and then we clicked on store detail. So as we went to the address, then we went to courier. Now we are going all the way to the extreme side or extreme right side. And that's where you'll see enable ONDC. So we'll click on that and that will open this page. Now for the benefit of time, I've already added certain details so that we can quickly go through them and you are able to relate to it as well. The first field that you will see here is the GST number. So you have to click on add GST number, input your GST number and then verify it. So that's the first thing that you have to do. After you have added and verified your GST number, just scroll down and that's where you'll see the bank account detail. Although I've already spoken about it in the video about this bank account, but a lot of time people ask me this question that why do you need our bank account detail? What do you want to do with it? So simply this bank account detail will be used for transferring fund to you. So for example, there's a customer and he has made a purchase through one of the ONDC bar application. Now you have delivered the order. Now you need money. So ONDC bar application will transfer the money to the seller network participant, which is GlobalLinker, to us, and we have to transfer the money to you, the order value to you. So that is why we need your bank account detail. Now the crucial point here is that this bank account detail should be added very accurately. If you have done any type of mistake, that may impact remittances. So that is why it is crucial that you should be adding these details very cautiously. And these are simple details. You should be able to add them very easily. The first one is the IFSC code of your bank, then the bank name, the branch, the account number. You have to type the account number again, and then you have to specify what type of account it is, whether it is a current or saving account, and the name associated with that bank account. So you have to input that, and then if you scroll down, that's where you have to input the address. Now the important point that you should understand here is that this is not your office address or your registered office address. This is the address which is associated with this bank. So you should input it here. In case that address happens to be same as your store address, then you can take here and you don't have to type the address. Otherwise you can easily type the address. Once you have inputted the address or once you have typed in the address, then you should scroll down and you should enable this. This is a big mistake or quite a frequent mistake that we have seen people make, that they do everything and then the products don't start appearing on ONDC, and when we investigate we find out that it is happening because they haven't enabled ONDC, right? So please don't make this mistake. Click on this button and turn it on, and then down below here you'll see terms of service of selling on ONDC. So you have to take here, you should review these. So it is not like blindly you are without reading them. You should read them and then you should accept them, and then you should click on save and enable. That will enable ONDC on your online store. So this is the step-by-step process of enabling ONDC. Now I'll quickly repeat what are the mandatory requirements, and I'll again very quickly walk you through what all you have to do. So open the seller panel. In the left navigation, click on store settings and then click on store details. While you're here, click on address tab and then update the address and the Google location, and then click on courier tab. Go to courier services and ensure at least one of the embedded or integrated courier service is enabled. Once you have done that, then you can come here and this is where you can click on enable ONDC, input and verify your GST number and the bank account detail, the address associated with the bank, enable ONDC, and then review the terms of service and then accept it, and lastly click on save and enable. And that is how you will be able to enable ONDC on your online store. Now we have understood the process of enabling ONDC on the store. Now let's understand the process of updating your products so that they become visible on the various buyer applications of ONDC. Now before we get started and we understand the step-by-step process, it is important that we also understand the mandatory requirements, and we'll refer to this presentation. I will be adding a download link of this presentation in the description of this video. So if you want to refer to it, you can do that. All right. So now let's understand the mandatory requirement. And the first one is at least 3 images should be uploaded on the product. The next one is the both summary and log description must be added. Now this is crucial because a lot of time when we are adding the product, we think that this much description is enough. No, you have to add summary as well as long description. You can split the content, add a little bit in the summary, and you can add the remaining content in the description. Or the best practice is that in the summary description, you should ideally be adding one paragraph, not more than 4 lines, and followed by bullet points about the features, benefits, or specification of the product. And the long description can have more detailed and more elaborate information. So that is about summary and long description. And the total word count of summary and long description should be between 80 and 150 characters. So minimum is 80 words and maximum is 150 words. So that should be the length of the content or the text that you're going to add in summary and long description. And this is combined of both the two. So it is not like you have to add 80 words in summary and 80 words in long description. No, combined, both of them combined, the total should be minimum 80 and not more than 150 words. All right. So that was about summary and description. The next one is product price should be greater than 0, which is kind of obvious. But if you have mistakenly not updated the price and you have mentioned it as 0, that is where those products will not be displayed or visible on ONDC. The inventory of the product should be greater than 5. So minimum is 5. If it is lower than 5, so for example, if the inventory is 4, the product will not be visible on ONDC. The next one is product type should be checkout. If you are updating your product or if you have earmarked your product as inquiry, so those will not be displayed on ONDC. And this is for the general audience that is watching this video and who are not familiar with checkout and inquiry. So on our platform, there are 2 types of product that you can have. One is checkout, where a customer can come and they can place an order, and the other is inquiry, where a prospective buyer can come and they can send you an inquiry that, hey, we are interested to do business with you, we are interested to buy this product, typically used by B2B businesses. So your product should be checkout, or it should be checkout plus inquiry, but it cannot be inquiry. So inquiry product cannot be displayed on ONDC. The product MOQ should not be greater than 1. So ideally it should be 1 unit. If you have added a higher MOQ, you should reduce it to 1 if you want to list your products on ONDC. The next one is product visibility should be B2C or both, because B2B is a restricted visibility. So obviously the products will not be visible on ONDC network. So that is kind of obvious. Then we have product customization should not be enabled. ONDC at the moment does not support customizable products. So customization feature should not be enabled on the product. The product must be mapped to ONDC categories. So that is crucial. Whatever product you have uploaded, you have to tell the system that where in which of the ONDC category your product belongs. So you should be mapping it. And then we have all ONDC mandatory information should be updated, which we are going to understand any which ways in the next few minutes. And ONDC product values must be mapped to ONDC, or the product values must be mapped to ONDC values. So that is this. Then ONDC specification, product specification should be mapped and updated. So product specification and ONDC specification should be mapped and updated. That is the 12th point. So these are the mandatory requirements which are there for the product. Now let's switch the screen and we'll go to the seller panel and we'll understand all of these points and also the step-by-step process. So let's switch the screen and let's go to the seller panel. So we are on the seller panel of our online store. Now, to make any changes or any update on the product catalog, we have to go to the product management section. For that, in the left navigation, you'll see there is an option which says catalog. This one, you have to click on that. And then underneath that, or once it will expand, you'll see there's an option which says product. So you have to click on that, which will open the product management interface. This is the product management interface. Now here, you can do the entire ONDC update in bulk very easily. You'll be able to do that. But a small trick that I would want to share with you is that before you get into the bulk updating activity, update one product manually. Why should you do that? You must be wondering. That will update the fields or give you line of sight that which information will go where, so that when you're updating it in bulk, you'll be able to do that in a easier way and you'll not get confused. Otherwise, because there are multiple columns, so you might get confused what will go where. So that is why it is advisable, it is a very handy trick that you can do, that you can update one product and then you can do the rest of the update in bulk, and that is what we are also going to learn in this video. So let's update one product, and to do that I'm going to search for that product. Why am I not updating a product randomly? Because most of the products that you're seeing here have variant. So I'm going to update a product that does not have variant. So this is a product, smartwatch. Why am I doing that? Just for the benefit of time. There are no other reasons. So we'll use this smartwatch and we'll update it. So for that, we'll click on this edit button. So just imagine that this is the product that you want to update. So you have to click on the edit button, which will open this page. On the basics tab, and this is called the basics tab because the heading is basics detail, you have to scroll down all the way to the bottom, and that's where you'll see there is an option which says ONDC related details. You click on that and that will open, or that will reveal two drop downs. One is category and second is subcategory. So this happens to be a smartwatch. So we'll select electronics as the parent category, and the subcategory is smartwatch, which is here. So we'll select that and then we have to click on save. So after scrolling down here, you'll see parent category and subcategories. Firstly, select the parent category and then select the relevant subcategory. After that, click on save. So this is the first step that we have done. Now, once you have done this step, then you have to go to price and variant. And here you have to click on this edit icon. It looks like a pencil. You click on that, which will open an overlay. This is the overlay which will open up. Again, you have to scroll down and it will reveal this option, add ONDC related details. Now here you'll see there are a number of fields that you have to update. The first one is manufacturer or packer name. So this is where you have to add the manufacturer's name. In case that information is not available, you can add your name because you are the packer. So you have to add a business name. So I'm going to add a dummy business name, and then you have manufacturer or packer address. Again, ideally, if the manufacturer address is available, you should add that. If that is not available, you can add your own address as well. So this is where you have to add your dummy. I'm adding dummy. You should add your address or the manufacturer address. All right, then you have month and year of manufacturer. So this is where you have to type the month and year. So for example, it is 7/1 2024 and net quantity. So this is where again I'm going to delete these fields so that it is easier for you to understand. So these are the two fields. So net quantity, how many units are there? So this is one smartwatch, so I'll add one here and then we'll select the unit. So there's one unit. Just imagine this was rice, a packet of rice or a packet of black pepper. So in that case, we'll be adding grams or kilograms here. So 100, and then we can select the unit from here. So for example, it is 100 grams or 100 kilograms, like that. We can do that. Let's change it to 1 unit. And then you have GTIN or EN GTIN or other codes. So if it is a branded item, then you should input the GTIN number if and this is relevant to electronics, not for the other categories. And for others, if it is not a branded item, you can input a other value here. So here you can see I've added a value here already, and then we have to click on save. But before that, let's switch the screen for a moment. We'll go back to the presentation because I wanted to show you, because this is where I can imagine that you may be getting a little confused with respect to this GTIN and what code need to be inputted here. So let's switch the screen. Let's go to the presentation for a moment. We are back on the presentation, and this is where you can see there's a table where I have clarified for which category what value is required. So, for example, if you are uploading a product in grocery category, if it is a branded item, then you have to input EN code. If it is not branded item, then you can add others. Fashion HS code is required for beauty and personal care, again EN code, and for non-branded item, other code, any other unique identifier can be added. For electronic items and appliances, G10 is required for branded item, and for non-branded item, any unique identifier can be added. For home and kitchen and health and wellness, again EN code for branded item, and for non-branded item, any unique identifier can be added. All right, so hope that is clear. Now, there was a requirement for standardize or using standardized unit of measure. So that is also something that we have captured in the presentation. So here you can see if it is dimension, then centimeter and meter, and you should use the exact terminology. If it is weight, then it should be gram, kilogram. Again, it should be lowercase or ton. Volume, it is liter or milliliter. Count, it is unit or dozen, right? So these are the values that you should use, and you'll be getting a link to download this presentation, so you can use the values from here, or they are available on the seller panel as well. All right, so let's go back to the seller panel. Let's switch the screen. So hope you're clear about the G10 requirement and the unit requirement. So we have added the details, and we will click on save, and that will update the product variant. All right, so we have updated the product. Now we can go and do the other product update in bulk. So let's quickly understand that. For that, we have to again go back to the product management interface. We'll click on product, then that will take us to the product management interface. We are here. Now, the first thing that we have to do is we have to use this file, which is the download and upload. So we have to firstly obviously download the file, and then we'll be uploading it. So we'll click on download ONDC file, and it will download an Excel file onto our device. So just give a quick second, or in few seconds it will get downloaded. We have downloaded the file, and this is how it looks. So firstly, let's word wrap so that it is not looking like this. It looks a little easier to manage. So this is how it is appearing. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So this is where we have various columns. So I'm going to quickly walk you through each of the columns. The first one is product ID. These are the system IDs, and these are for your reference. And then we have the product code. These are again the product identifiers. Then we have title, that is the name of the product. We have summary, description, and this is for your reference. So till this column, which is HNI, everything is for your reference, so that you can identify the products, you can understand which product it is. Now, as we did, we mapped one of the products, so that is where you can see electronics and smartwatch, right? So you can understand where is the parent category and where is the subcategory. So this is where you have the parent category, and this is where you have the subcategory. So in this column, which is column H, you have ONDC parent category, and in column I, you have ONDC subcategory. So smartwatch, it comes here, and electronics come here. All right. Now, if you have to update other category, and those happen to be from other categories, or you have to update other products and they happen to be from other categories, how do you get the list, or from where can you identify which is the parent category, which is the subcategory? For that, we have given a link here. So here, if you can see, so there is a link. So you have to copy the link. We'll copy the link. We'll go back to the seller panel or the browser, and we will open this link. So I'm going to quickly do that. So this is the file which gets opened, and on this file you will see there's an option to select a parent category. So you can click here, and for example, we want to select a category from fashion. So this is where the category gets changed. Now what you have to do is you have to select an appropriate category. So let's look for a product. So this is a t-shirt. So we have to update the category. So we will quickly copy the first parent category, and then we'll copy the subcategory, which is here, which is t-shirt. So we can copy it like this. This is a laptop. So I'm not going to update each category, obviously, but I'm going to update a few products, so that when we are going through the rest of the steps, we can do that quite easily. So it's one more product. This is another product, and there's also a t-shirt. So let's select a category and let's select a subcategory. So very easily you can copy paste them. And let's select a product from other category also. This is basmati rice. So let's select from grocery. So this is grocery. And there. Here we have rice and rice products. So we can select that and we can copy paste it here. All right. So this is where we have added few categories. So we will quickly apply filters, and you can also do that. So because we don't want to waste your time and effort or the system resources, we can just delete the rows that we have not updated. So it will only have the products where we want to make an update. So these are the few products where we want to make an update. So let's save the file now. So we have saved the file, and we will go back to the seller panel very quickly. We are back here, and now we'll click on upload ONDC category file. So let's quickly So I've selected the file from my device. Now I am clicking on open, and the file gets uploaded. So it will take a few seconds or up to few minutes depending on how many categories you are getting updated. And once you have uploaded the file, you'll see the upload process has started. So here you can see the green band. The upload has started, so it is getting uploaded. So let's wait for it to get uploaded, and then we'll move on to the next step and we'll understand the remaining step. You can see the product upload has been completed successfully. That means our product are mapped to ONDC, or the ONDC categories are mapped to our product. So this is done. This is where we should refresh our seller panel. So you can click on F5 or Control R, or you can click on the reload button on the browser, and the page is reloaded. So now we have done the category mapping. Now we have to update the remaining ONDC mandatory information. So if you recall, we clicked on price and variant, and that's where an overlay opened, and that's where we added manufacturer address, etc. So now we have to update that information in bulk. How do you do that? So for that, we have to click here where you are seeing download CSV. So you have to click on that, which will download an Excel file onto your device. So again, it will take a few seconds, and after that it will get downloaded. So this is where you can see the file is ready to get downloaded. So we'll save that on our device, and then we will open the file. So this is the file which gets downloaded. So here you can see, so this is where we have all the products that we have uploaded on this store, and here you can see the fields, or if you scroll to the extreme right side, let me zoom in a little bit so that it is bigger and you can see it in a better way on your screen. So this is a file, and this is typically used for updating price and inventory. But if you scroll all the way to the extreme right side, that's where you'll see these fields. Now, as I was telling you earlier, sometimes it becomes very confusing that what information should be added. So this is where the one product that we have updated, it helps you understand. So this is where units will come. This is where the quantity will come, and this is where we have the manufacturer and packer address, the month and year of manufacture, and the other unit might come, or if we have not added the additional code. I think we haven't added that there, so that's why it is not appearing. We can add it here. So it's, if it is a GTIN code, you can add it here if you had the GTIN code. Otherwise, you can add the other value, because I'm updating a dummy product, so that's why I'm not going to add a GTIN. All right, so this is where let's update the other product. So how do you know which product you have updated? So for that, it is easy. You can do that using the product code, or so this is one product code, and or we can do using product name as well. So let's use product code. So we'll firstly apply filters to all the columns. So let's search using the product codes, and now we will come here and update the values. So this is where we have to specify the units. Now, from where will you get the units? So you can refer to the same file which we had used for categories. So this is where you have ONDC units of measure, and this is where we have weight. So we can use kilogram from here. So we can go back, and this is where we have the weight. And in fact, what we can do is we can hide these columns, and you can also do that so that you don't have to do a lot of left right scroll. So I'm going to hide all these columns. Now it will be a little easier for us to manage. So this is where we are adding kilograms as the unit, and then net weight is I think this 1 kg, this 2 kg. So this is going to be 1, this is going to be 2, and this is 5. So this is going to be 5, and the next one is 10 kg. So 10, manufacturer and packer name. So I'm going to and because we don't have any EN code, so I'll add some other number here. But in your case, you'll be adding EN code. So if you have the EN code, you'll be adding it here. Let me show you. You will be adding it here. Like this. And let's copy the other information as well. So we have updated one product. So this is one product that we have updated. Let's look at the other products. So this is the other product that we have. And here, again, we'll do the same thing. We'll filter. And this is a smartwatch. This is the one that we had manually updated. So this is something that we don't have to update. Let's move on. Let's look at the next product. So here we have to now update. So this is a t-shirt. So this is where we have a unit. Obviously, there's one unit. So we will just update unit, and this is where we have one. So we'll just copy it to all the 3 rows, and we'll just add the same information. And here you have to add what? HS code, because it is a fashion item. So we have to add the HS code. So again, I'm going to add a dummy number here. All right. So once we have added, and you know, just copy the information to the remaining rows. Right. So one more product updated. All right. Let's go back to the Excel file and let's see. So this is a smartwatch, and it does not have a product code. So we'll use the product title. So firstly, we'll clear the filter from there, clear this one, and we'll use the product name column, and this is where we'll apply the filter. And this is the product that we have to update, and this is also updated. This is where we have the values. So this is again a smartwatch. We actually had 2 products, and we have updated both of them, both the smartwatch. This is the last product that we have to update. Let's quickly do that. And again, I have to select the product code. And here we have unit. So this is a t-shirt, and it is available in 2 colors and 5 sizes. So unit will again be unit only because this is one unit each. So we will just copy it to all the rows, and this will be 1. So again, it will be copied to all the rows. Then manufacturer address, name, and packer address, and then month and year of manufacture. And because it is a fashion item, so it will have HS code. All right, so we'll just copy the information to the other rows, and we have updated the file. All right, so this is how you can update it. Now before we save and upload this file, let's remove the product wherein we are not updating them, because there are many products and there's no merit in updating their information for no reason. So we will just select the blank rows and we'll delete them. So these are the rows where we are not making any update. So we'll just quickly delete them. Let's select the first row so that select all of them very easily. Let's delete them. So we have deleted the unwanted rows, and we only have the rows wherein we are updating. So this is where you can see the file. Now let's save the file. Let's go back to the seller panel to upload this file. So we are back on the seller panel. Now we have to click on this button, which is bulk edit CSV, and we will upload the file. So you'll have to click on upload CSV file, and that will allow you to select the file. So now we are uploading the file. So this is how you will be able to add the ONDC mandatory information, but this is not the end of it. There are 2 more steps that you have to do. So we'll wait for this step to get completed, and once this step is completed, we'll move on and we'll understand the remaining steps. So this is where you can see the step is completed because we haven't updated too many products, so it didn't took a lot of time. So the step is updated. Now let's move on and let's understand what are the other steps that we have to do. And for that, in the left navigation, you have to click on My Store. So this is where you can see My Store. You have to click on that. And then you have to click on ONDC dashboard, which you can see here. This is where you have ONDC dashboard. So you have to click on that, and that will reveal this page. On this page, you can see step 1 and step 2. So obviously, you have to do the step 1 first, and then you have to do the step 2. Now to do step 1, you have to download the attribute file. So you have to click here, which will download an Excel file onto your device. So this is going to be a little heavy file, so it may take a few minutes for getting downloaded. Once it is downloaded, then you can start updating the file. The file is downloaded. Let's quickly open it and let's see what needs to be updated. As I mentioned, it is a heavy file, so it will take time. Now here, I'm not sure how big it is on your screen, so let me just zoom in a little bit. Now this is the file, and it has multiple columns, and you'll see that to a great extent this file is populated. Now what is the purpose of this file? The purpose of this file is to map your variant values. So for example, there's a t-shirt which is available in different colors and different sizes. You have to map your values, your system values, your online store values with the ONDC values. Right, that's what you have to do, right? So if you're calling it a small, you may have created the variant as SMALL small, whereas the ONDC may be calling it S, right? So you have to do the mapping, or you may be naming the color as BB pink, but the ONDC may be naming it as regular pink, so you have to do the mapping, right? So again, the objective of this file is that you have to do mapping of your attribute values, and that is again the next important point, that you're mapping attributes. So any product that does not have a variant. So for example, we updated smartwatches. You recall, if I take you to this file, this where you can see there are two smartwatches that we updated. But because these smartwatches didn't had a variant, that's why they are not here in this file. In fact, if I can quickly apply filters, and I will just remove the blanks. This is where you can see we have fashion products. So two t-shirts, they had variants, so they are appearing here. And then there was a grocery product, and it is appearing here. So only the product that has variant, and only the product with whom you have done the category mapping. So here we had done the category mapping. So only the product where you have done the category mapping, and only the product that has variant. So we have done category mapping, and out of all the products that we have done category mapping, the electronic item didn't had variants. So that's why they are not appearing in this attribute mapping file. Now let's understand what you need to do. So this is where you can see the category and subcategory, because you have mapped them, so they are already appearing here. Now you have to specify what is the variation here. So in this attribute name, I have to specify what is the variation. So here you can see the variation is of color, and you can select it from here. One quick tip which I can share with you is that you can apply the filter here, and we can select one value here. So this is where we have color. So very easily we can select color from here, and we can then just copy paste it to all the rows. Like that, we have updated this value. Now we have to update the values here. So the first one is green. So here you can, so this is the green. You have different variations of the green, so you can select in value appropriately. So this is where we have green, all the 5 sizes. We have copy pasted it, and then we have white. So again, we'll select the white, and we'll again do the copy paste. So this is how conveniently you can update it. I've done that for the color. Let's do that for size. So let's come here, and this is where we have to firstly update the basis, and that is size. So let's copy that to all the rows, and we have updated the size. And then now we have now here you can see this is where we have small. I've written small here, but in the ONDC you have small like this, so you have to do the mapping appropriately. So let's quickly do that as well. And here we have large, and similarly this is small, this is medium. And again, if you have large number of product, obviously you can apply a filter, and you can do it quite quickly. This is Excel. This is where we have Excel. This is excess. Excess is on the top. Then we have again small. Then we have medium. Then we have large. Again Excel. And then you have excess. So like that, very easily you can select the value. So we have done size as well. Let's go to quantity. Let's deselect, and this is where you have grocery. Now grocery does not have any value, so that is where it will appear blank. Or there are other categories also where these values are not defined. So if the values are not defined, so if your basis of variation is size, and you're not finding size here in the drop down, so it does not mean you have to mandatorily add anything, right? So if the value is not there, don't add, right? So if the corresponding value, so if the basis of variation is quantity, and the corresponding value is not here in this drop down, don't add anything, just leave it blank, right? So we have updated the file. This is where we have updated the file. I'll just quickly clear the filters so that you can see what are there. So we have updated the file. Now again, the same suggestion applies here as well, that let's delete the rows that we are not wanting to update. So that will simply make the process by the values here, because the category mapping is not there. So you have deleted the rows, and we'll just, so here you can see all the products mapping is done. So now we will save this file and we will upload this file. So I'm going to save the file very quickly, and we'll go back to the seller panel and we'll upload the file. So this is where we have to click on upload attribute, and it will allow us to upload the file. This is the file, and the file will start getting uploaded. Again, the upload time will vary depending on how many products you're uploading, and obviously it also relates to that suggestion that if you're not updating information in any of the rows, just delete it. That will make this process a lot quicker. So let's wait for this file to get uploaded, and here you can see the file is uploaded. So let's move on and let's understand the next step, and that is download specification. So we will click on download specification and it will download an Excel file onto our device. So let's wait for the file to get downloaded and then we'll update the file. So the file is downloaded. Let's open the file, and this is going to be a little heavy file. So this is where you should not worry if it takes a lot of time to open up. So this is the file which got downloaded, and again it will only have products where you have updated or we have done the category mapping. And here you can see this is where we have the entire list of fashion and electronic products. Why grocery is not there? Because the attribute values are not there, but for the other products we have the values here. So let's quickly update the values here, and here you can see we have the data populated or data population done already for us. And let's quickly apply filters here so that we can filter through the data. Let me quickly walk you through this file as well. Let me zoom in a little bit. So this is where you have the product ID, you have the product name, you have the product code, your category. So this is the ONDC category. This is the ONDC subcategory. Then you have the attribute type name. You have to attribute whether it is mandatory or not. You have that value, and then you have the specification value, which you can select from the drop down. So for example, this t-shirt, you have gender and which is male. So you can select that. Then the color is I think green, so we can select green from there. And then you have fabric, so you can select an appropriate value. So for example, if it is cotton, and then we have size chart. So for size chart you have to copy paste the URL of the size chart. Now in case you're wondering how to upload the size chart and get the URL, for that I'm going to quickly take you to the seller panel and I'm going to guide you how to get the URL of the size chart. So let's go back to the seller panel. So we are on the seller panel. To upload the size chart, you can use the media manager, which is down here. So just few tabs below the ONDC dashboard, we have the media manager. I'll just quickly open that in another tab. Here you can just upload the size chart and you can generate the URL. So I'll just quickly show you. I have this QR code which I had uploaded. So this is where you can see it. Once you have uploaded it, you will get the URL. Then you can just go to the file and you can just copy paste it here like this. So easily you can do that. If there's any care instruction, you can add that. If the drop down is empty, that's where it is an open field. So you can type as well. So dry clean like that. Then wash type, you can specify what type of wash: clean, heavy, light. So clean. What is the weight? So this is again an open field. So for example, it is 300 grams. Length is, let's say, 15 centimeter. Breadth is 20 centimeter. Height is 15 centimeter. Features, you can select it from here. Alpha basic pullover, fabric finish. Now these values will vary from category to category, and obviously there are a number of such fields. So let's not waste or your valuable time. Let's not spend your valuable time updating this file. I hope you have understood how to update this file. Let's quickly go to another category. We have just seen the fashion category. Let's go to the electronic category. This where you have the brand name, so you can add the brand name. So for example, the brand name is Super, model is 123, whatever the model name, you can add that. What is the model year? So 2023, let's say. And color, so you can select it from the drop down. So for example, it is black, we can select that. We can add the color name as well. So for example, it is black, so you can type it here. And then you have screen size, which you can input. So for example, it is 2 inch. And then we have weight and length, width, and dimension, whether it is refurbished or not. It is an optional value, so you can input. Now, the important point that you should or you must keep in mind is the mandatory information. So mandatory is something that you have to add. If you're not adding these values, then your products will not be visible or will not be listed on ONDC. So you must add these values. The optional ones are add-ons, and you must also add them, because the richer the information, higher will be the prospects of getting orders from ONDCs. You must be adding values or providing information to all the values, but these are mandatory ones. So without mandatory, obviously your products will not be listed on ONDC. So you must update all these fields, and once you are done, save the file, and you can upload it. So let's quickly go back to the seller panel, and from here you can upload the specification file. We are not going to do that because this is a demonstration store and the products will start appearing on ONDC, so we'll not upload, but you should upload the file. The process is simple. Click on upload and you'll be able to select the file from your device. In fact, I'll show you that as well. So you click here. This is where we have the ONDC specification file is the file. We can select that and click on open, and the file will get uploaded and it will get updated. So that is something that you have to do to enable your product on ONDC. We have completed the entire process. Now let's quickly go back and refer to the mandatory requirement. In the presentation I showed you, there are certain mandatory requirements. So for that, let's firstly go to the presentation and then we'll come back here to understand. So let's look at the mandatory requirement. At least 3 images should be uploaded. From where can you understand whether 3 images are uploaded or not? So if you have uploaded images for variants, so if you have uploaded product in bulk, or if you have added images to each of the variant, we can quickly check that in the Excel file. So I'll quickly show from where you can check. So if you use this file, the variant file where we had added the mandatory information, this is where we have, I'll just expand the columns, or this is where you will see that there are these rows. So if you have added images to the variants, those will be visible here. This is the cover image. So that means we have just added one image, and the rest of the images will be displayed here in corpus separated. So if you have not added images, or if you have just added one image, it will be visible here. This column will be blank. So that means this product has one image and it will have an issue. So certain ONDC bar applications require 3 images. You must add 3 images. Both the summary and long description must be added. From where can you get this information? For that, you can go to the seller panel, and here we have to go to the product catalog section. And here you have to use this file, download product. This time we have to click on download product, and it will again download an Excel file onto your device. So let's wait for a few moments for this file to get downloaded, and then we'll understand how you have to use this file to understand the description. So the file is getting downloaded. It is downloaded now. Let's open the file. So you'll find it very similar to the category mapping file that we had seen earlier. So let's do the word wrap and let's zoom in a little bit. Now here you'll see it has columns for summary and description. So there's a summary description, there's a long description. So you can use these columns and you can identify whether you have added the summary and what is the length of them. Now for determining the length, there's a thumb rule that you can use. You can basically use this formula, which is a common Excel formula, which is LEN, and then you can check. So this is 169 characters, which should be there. Now, a thumb rule which you can use is if a description has 500 characters, that means it is good enough. So you can just copy paste this formula and you can check which all descriptions are good. So this is nearly good. This is more than enough. You can split it. This is also more than enough. So you can split it 500 to the other description. This is way too much. So that's how you can evaluate. So you can use these columns, summary and long description, and you can understand. You can also check where you have not added a long description. So you can apply a formula and you can apply a filter and you can see which all products you haven't added the description. So that was the point related to the summary and long description. Then the product price must be greater than 0. You can check the price manually, or if you want, and check the price using the variant update file. Let me quickly show you. So this is the variant update file where we had added the manufacturer, packer, name, address, etc. So if you look here, this is where you have the selling price. So the selling price should be greater than 0. Discount price should obviously be greater than 0. And this is where you have the stock of the product. So very quickly, very easily using this file, you'll be able to identify the price as well as the stock quantity, which also happens to be one of the mandatory requirements, that it has to be greater than 5 units. So which is in fact the next point only. The inventory should be greater than 5 units. The product type should be checkout. How do you check and how do you check it quickly? So for that we have to use the product file, which we use for summary and long description. So let's go to that file. So we are on the variant file. Let's switch the screen, and this is where we have the product file. Now we have to ensure the product type is checkout. So here we have this column product type. You have to ensure it is checkout or checkout underscore inquiry. So this is where you have checkout as well as inquiry, but it should not be inquiry. So here you can see inquiry. So these products will not be listed on ONDC. So very quickly you can see we can update it as well. So if you want to change the product type, you can easily copy it from here and paste it like this. Very easy. You can type checkout also yourself and save the file and upload it back. Let's understand the next product MOQ should not be greater than 1. So it should be 1. So you can check that from the seller panel. So if you edit any of the product, that's where you can check what is the MOQ. So this is where you can see minimum order quantity. It is 1. So very easily you can check. Product visibility should be B2C or both. How can you check this? And you can check quickly in bulk. So for that we'll be using the product update file. So this is where we have this file, and this is where you can see the visibility. It is both and B2C if it is B2B. So if it is B2B, because B2B happens to be a restricted visibility, in that case the product will not be visible. So you have to ensure that it should not be B2B. It should be both, or it should be B2C. All right. So you should ensure that using this column you can easily do that. Once you're done, you can move to the next mandatory requirement. Product customization must not be enabled. It should be disabled. How do you check that? For that, you have to go to the product management screen. We're on the product management screen, and this is where you can see there's a customization tab. So you should ensure that it is not enabled. And if it is enabled, then you can disable it. The next requirement is ONDC product must be mapped to the categories which we have already discussed. All the ONDC mandatory information must be added, which we have already discussed. Product variant must be mapped to the ONDC values, the ONDC attribute mapping file, which we discussed, and the ONDC specification file, which is the point number 12. So you have discussed all these points. You have understood how to ensure that your products are updated as per the requirements here, and you have understood the step-by-step process as well for updating your product. And I hope you found this video informative. If you need any further help or guidance, you can reach out to our help desk. The contact details of our help desk are added in the description of this video for your reference.